Because I am bearing witness to myself, am I not bearing record of the word of God? How can I bear witness to God and not be bearing witness to myself? If in Genesis 1, right? Let's go to Genesis 1. I was made in God's image. Then why wouldn't I be the image of God when I reveal myself? If I am outside of my image, how can I be in the image of God? Right? So now, if we go to Genesis 1 verse 26, let me say, and God said, let us make man in our image after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. Then if I am not in accordance with Genesis 1 verse 26 in the civil and criminal courthouses in Seminole and Orange counties in the state of Florida, nor in the federal courthouse in the Middle District of Florida, then wouldn't I come out of Genesis 1 verse 25, and God made the beast of the earth after his kind, and the cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. And God saw that it was good. In the criminal courthouse, in some courthouse, anywhere in the world. So how could a fallen anything stand up righteously for anything righteous? See, if I have fallen beneath righteousness, how can I then speak righteously? Once I have fallen, then I am speaking from a fallen substance. So if I am a fallen substance, speaking to fallen substances, then how wouldn't I be the blind, and how wouldn't you become blind following me? See, because if I did not overcome something, how can I tell you about something overcame? See, if I know how, then I should do how I know. See, so that's what I'm doing with you all. See, now I'm showing you the beast that I made, like God made the beast of the earth. See, I'm saying, see how I'm in accordance with Genesis 1 verse 25, because I am God. See, but I'm saying, look, I'm talking about by definition though now, in this proper venue. See, I am God, the being perfect in power, wisdom, goodness, who is worshipped by the Florida Constitution, the United States Constitution, the Florida Bill of Rights, the United States Bill of Rights, statutory law, and the Civil Rights Act of 1964 in the civil and criminal courthouses in Seminole and Orange counties in the state of Florida, as well as in the federal courthouse in the Middle District of Florida for eternity. After I made, see, let's go back to 25. See, after I made the lawsuit that revealed the beast of the earth after his kind in the civil and criminal courthouses in Seminole and Orange counties in the state of Florida on August 12, 2008 at 10:40 in the morning. Like, when do my testimony become revelations? When somebody else speak the words that I'm writing? So if I'm writing the words that I'm speaking, and I'm speaking from the words that I wrote, then when will I be revelations? When John speaks of me? But now, if I'm going to Revelations 1, right? Now, wouldn't John be speaking for me when he says in Revelations 1, the revelations of Jesus Christ, which God gave unto him to show unto his servants things that things which must shortly come to pass, and he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John. 9. So is not John now testifying to you in hoods, projects, communities, schools, colleges, universities, churches, temples, synagogues, mosques, detention centers, jails, and prisons all over the world about me, who is God, who is worshipped by the word, according to John, who, now this is John in Revelation, but John also wrote this revelation as John 1, see, that says, in the beginning was the word. So see how I have went from flesh to a character in a word. So I am now letters tightly formed together to then give a statement of description. See, so now in the beginning was the word, and the word was with God, and the word was God. See, so now when you read my books, wouldn't I be the word because you're reading about me? But I wrote those words that you're reading. Now, the devil is in the details of them words. See, that's why I'm telling you, I was so glad when he started redacting the book, because I knew that I was reading and I'm saying, man, see, this is what I'm telling y'all. Like, say, whatever going on, it done went on. But I saw it going on. Now, at first, I didn't feel comfortable saying what was going on, because I didn't want to scare my wife or my children and have them have a mental breakdown. So see, I really don't know what to do to keep your mind intact. So I have to educate myself and hope that when my wife and my children hear my voice, they will see me in my voice. So if they read my words, then them who know me will then be aware of my mind. Because say, if you don't think someone has something, then you don't believe they got what you don't know they have. But if they show you their mind, then you have to have a mind likened to that mind. Now, it may not be as developed as that mind because of my mental development from this situation. See what I'm saying? So I had to learn how to teach of the situation so you can then become abreast of the situation. See? So now, if in the beginning was the word and now I am words that I wrote, then why am I not what is now being written of John? Right? So if John wrote Revelations and now I am revealing what John wrote in the civil and criminal courthouses in Seminole and Orange counties in the state of Florida, as well as in the federal courthouse in the Middle District of Florida, how can not my legal revelations be believed as John's spiritual revelations? See, if the same was in the beginning with God, then wouldn't the same be now in Revelations? See, if he says in the beginning was the word, and the word was with God, and the word was God. See, so now how can that in the beginning was the word? So now wouldn't that be Genesis 1 that was written by Moses in words? Come on now, let's go back, because here it is, right? So if you have John with a beginning, and then you have Moses with a beginning, why my beginning did not begin with me? See, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. That's in words. So now wouldn't John be describing this beginning in John's beginning in exile? So how did John's beginning end in exile? And it's revelations because of John's exile. See, because he was in exile, now he's able to then reflect like I am able to reflect. But see, John was not reflecting on John's life. John was reflecting on the short time that John encountered Jesus. And that short encounter changed John's life. See, but because John followed Jesus, John was placed in exile because he's a Roman. See, so he couldn't be crucified like all the other followers of Jesus. So he was placed in exile in his own homeland. But he wrote from exile so we could be free from this forced servitude that I'm forced to be in, and showing you that you are as well, but you just comfortable in your forced servitude. See, matter of fact, you're not even forced anymore. See, you have been conditioned to your limitations. See what I'm saying? So if you have accepted being limited, then you see success in your limitations. See, but if you had exceeded your limitations as I have exceeded mine, right, then you see the limitations that you exceeded. But if you never go over the limitations that were set for you, how do you know that you successful? You just successful in the limitations that were set. But if you don't know the law, right, then how can you be in the beginning when God created the heavens and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters? See, how can you be there if you're not here and the world is void now as it was then? See, if something is legally voided, then how is it legally established? See, now I'm going to show you this. See, this right here, well, now I don't know because it messed it up before. I tried to get, oh, wait a minute. Oh, I got it. Here it is. Okay, now, let me get to, this is Amendment 14, Section 4 that I was telling you about when I'm telling you how I protected the validity of the national debt. See, this is everybody's responsibility, but if you don't know where your responsibilities lie, then you violate by your own admission that you don't know what your responsibilities are. So if a person is trying to violate you, then you have to know how to stand up for yourself, because the person who violates you is not going to help you defeat them. So you have to know where your protections lie, and you have to believe in those protections that you have. Now, this is Amendment 14, Section 4. It says the validity of the public debt of the United States authorized by law, including debts incurred for payments of pensions and bounties for services in suppressing insurrection or rebellion, shall not be questioned, but neither the United States nor any state shall assume or pay any debt or obligation incurred in aid or insurrection or rebellion against the United States, or any claim for the loss or emancipation of any slave, but all such debts, obligations, and claims shall be held illegal and void. See what I'm saying? So, if every dime you have made has cost you a penny, then every penny you owe has voided out the dime you think you made. So this is why I'm telling the deceived about the deception. But they trying to make money off of me. And I'm saying, well, wouldn't that be the root to the evil that I got in the civil and criminal courthouses in Seminole and Orange counties in the state of Florida? So now, if you are against Amendment 14, Section 4, then what is the validity? See, let's break down validity of my debt. See, this is what I'm saying. Like, they say I owe them $5.8 million, right? But I'm saying I cited Amendment 14, Section 4 when I'm defending the validity of the national debt. Now, how I owe when I'm defending the nation's debt against those who violated the Constitution that ballooned the debt to its deficits. So, see, every dime they making, they owe me a penny for every dime, right? And then, so when they make 20 cents, they owe me 2 pennies. When they make 30%, they owe me 3 pennies. Now, and they voided the 30 cent. That's gone too. So really, they owe me 11 cents and they only made 10. See, but they say I owe them. But now, what is the validity of my debt? The quality or state of being valid is validity. Now, valid. Having legal efficiency or force. Well, if I'm in accordance with Section 4 of Amendment 14, well then the public debt is owed to me, not the United States of America. If I'm in the courts defending the citizens against the elected officials of the United States of America, then am I not defending the citizens from the debt in accordance with Amendment 14? So when you say I owe you, what is the validity of that debt? If I am defending the validity of the public's debt, how am I then in debt for defending the public in accordance with Amendment 14, Section 4 in the proper venue? Now, let's go to venue. And this is the NOLO legal dictionary of venue. The appropriate locations according to law and courts rules for a trial. In a criminal case, the proper venue is generally the judicial district or county where the crime was committed. In civil cases, venue is generally proper in the county or district where important events related to the case took place, such as the signing or performance of a contract, or the accident or other accident that led to a personal injury case. Typically, the plaintiff in a civil case may also sue in the district or county where the defendant lives or does business. Well, that's in the civil and criminal courthouses in Seminole and Orange counties in the state of Florida. I lived in Seminole County. My business was resided in Lake Mary, Florida, at 3250 Safe Harbor Lane in Lake Mary, Florida. I worked in Orlando at the United States Postal Service. So that's why I took the United States Postal Service to the civil and criminal courthouses in Seminole and Orange counties in the state of Florida on behalf of Folk Houses Incorporated, who was established and resided in Seminole County. Now I work for the United States Postal Service in Orange County. See, that's why it's a federal case because it's going across county lines. So because you committed a crime in Orange County and Seminole County, now I can be in Orange County courthouse against the United States Postal Service and Seminole County courthouse against the United States Postal Service and the federal courthouse. See, so all venues are proper venues because I am a citizen in that state, and I'm a citizen in that county, and I'm an employee in that county. And the United States Postal Service is the entity that is the government. So, see, the appropriate locations according to law and court rules for a trial. In a criminal case, the proper venue is generally the judicial district or county where the crime was committed. The crime was committed by the post office in the Lockhart branch of the United States Postal Service. That's in Orange County. But the injury, when the post office sent a zero check to my home, that then made the crime happen in Seminole County. When they sent that letter, that's mail fraud. See? And wire fraud. See, okay, if they use the wire, let me show you. Oh, now they don't want to say. They say wiretapping. Eavesdropping on private conversations by connecting listening equipment to a telephone line. To be legal, wiretapping must be authorized by a search warrant or court order. So now, if the courts is down monitoring my communications, that's a wiretap. See, even if they looking at these communications, because I'm doing it on my phone. Now, how can the church, how can the court now authorize a wiretap on Folk Houses Incorporated, Chancey Incorporated, Tommy Chancey Castle Sr., Benita Elaine Epps Castle, Tamika Ray Sean Castle, or Tommy Chancey Castle Sr., Jr., if the president of Folk Houses Incorporated is in court defending the communications between Folk Houses Incorporated's employees and the family that own Folk Houses Incorporated as individuals. See, so we fighting as individuals, but I'm fighting collectively for all individuals got anything to do with Folk Houses Incorporated. And the judges in the state of Florida is not fighting for the citizens in the state of Florida because the judges in the state of Florida did not uphold the Constitution of the state of Florida, for which is entitled to all citizens in the state of Florida, for which made me have to then defend my neighbors in accordance with the Ten Commandments. See, if I am supposed to treat my neighbor as I treat myself, then am I not fulfilling that commandment when I brought light to your darkness? See, your life was as my life was. See, my neighbors who lived around me in the revelations of my beginning in my Genesis, well, in my Genesis, my neighbors was also in darkness. We was all broke. We was all poor. But as I ascended to my truth and I started living my truthfulness, then the revelations of where I had made it to in that short period of time then opened up the possibilities that I could go back to where I began and allow them to get to where I was, right? So now my neighbors is also my history. See, why would I leave my friends who was my neighbors in the darkness that I walked out of and say that they my friends? How would I then be in accordance with the Ten Commandments that say, do unto thy neighbor as I do unto myself, if I saved myself and then didn't save my neighbor? So now wouldn't the onus or the pressure now be on my neighbors to fulfill that passage if they are Christians? See, so would they have left my family and then they say they preachers to me? Well, if you're not fulfilling the scripture, how can you teach it and won't fulfill it? See, you're supposed to be in accordance with the law. See? And if you are in accordance with the law, then we are supposed to be on the same team. We're not supposed to be against each other. Right? Now, because wouldn't this be a constructive fraud? See, Satan and his God constructs failure for the human according to the definition of Satan. So wouldn't that be a constructive fraud by definition? Is when the circumstances show that someone's actions give that person give that person an unfair advantage over someone else by unfair means, lying or telling a buyer about defects in lying or not telling a buyer about defects in a product, for example. The court may decide to treat the situation as if there was actual fraud, even if all the technical elements of fraud have not been proven. See, so by the judges lying, right, and saying that I violated the Constitution, then by the definition of constructive fraud, the judges violated the Constitution because they lied. See, but this is what I'm saying. If a entity of power violates the power of the entity, then wouldn't the entity have to eat up itself before it then have the respect of the governed? See, do the abuser of power understand that they are abusing the system? So now if the people don't understand that the system itself is being abused, then wouldn't they turn away from their protections because of the abuser of the protections? So see, this is what I'm saying. When the judges are defending themselves, they leave you without a defense. Now, how can you blame the written word for whom you supposed to be according to John 1, you supposed to be the word. See, if you're going to fulfill the scripture, you got to do the work. Now, John 1, in the beginning, see, so wouldn't this be a new beginning? Because in the other beginning, it was just the word. See, and God's face rolled over the deep. See, but now in John's from exiles beginning, it say in the beginning was the word, and the word was with God, and the word was God. So see, if you are who you supposed to be, you would turn into words. But if you not who you are, then words will be written to describe your actions. So your actions is your failure to become a word. See what I'm saying? See, my inaction gave me the ability to write about the actions of Satan and his God. Now, but Satan's God was operating through a human being. So I had to capture the evil that was running through the human being and then separate the human from the spirit. See, so now the human is a defendant, but the spirit is now evidence of the current that ran through the human. that made the human act out of character. See, so now me being me has produced the passion of Christ.